Hello, welcome back to another hopefully interesting video. Where do I start with this fantastic fella? Obviously, G1 Starscream, released in the first year of Transformers, based on the Diaclone toy line, released for the first 2 years of Transformers. I just love this character, and as a jet, it looks pretty neat too. I actually do not know where to start with this character because I love the character to death. Originally voiced by Chris Latta or Chris Collins, who actually, as a side note, did the temp voice for Mr. Burns in the first Simpsons episode in 1989. I'm not sure if any of the audio made it on the actual Simpsons episodes of the first year. Sidetrack that. So, voiced by Chris Latta, who also voiced Wheeljack and Sparkplug, among others, but Starscream and Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe. But let's face it, we love him for Starscream. That high-pitched voice, Starscream. That's my terrible... That sounded more like Armada Starscream. Credit to the guy who voiced Armada Starscream, trying to stay close to the original voice. This is dustier than I thought. Anyway, so I'm going to start. The missiles aren't intact, as you can see, unfortunately, but it looks okay as it is. And I don't think they don't fire. Oh, maybe they do. Just a little bit. Powder puff. As you can see right off the bat, it's not red, white, and blue. It is red, grey, and blue. And it's got really great detailing on the face. Just a little bit. Looking good for 40 years old. I'm getting there. And his canopy, I just stored his wheels, his front wheels in there. Oh, so I'm gonna get back to that soon enough. I've always wanted this one as a kid. I've had Skywarp for at least 25 years. Only managed to get his hands at least 20 years ago, maybe. And recently acquired the guns for Skywarp. Anyway, I digress. I got this 100% complete 6 years ago, 2019. Credit to the person who I bought them from. You know who you are. Shout out to Dan. I was so pleased to get this one, and I actually chased down Thundercracker 2 years ago, which means I have all 6 Seekers. That's the 3 Coneheads and 6, and the 3 Seekers and 6 Coneheads. Nope, start that again. 3 Coneheads and 3 Seekers. Why was that so difficult to say? Anyway, I've babbled on enough. I'm going to take this dude apart. Hopefully he won't try to overthrow me as I do it. And his little fist detailing is pretty cool. I think Thundercracker... No, yeah, it might have been Thundercracker. It had been released in Studio Series where it can actually hold Megatron's gun mode. So everything just neat and tidy. And you can see he's got a blue nose cone, which he didn't in the cartoon. Had to take some liberties, creatively speaking. Now, all 6 jets are pretty awesome looking in their F-15 Eagle modes. I mean, obviously, Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream all look the same. But I don't know why they chose to concentrate on this awesome guy. Even in his bio, his tech specs, it does say he wants to overthrow Megatron. So maybe they thought, well, we'll make this one just a little bit different. But yeah, I gotta say, I love Starscream, especially in the movie when he dumps Megatron out of Astro Train. Wait, I still function. Wanna bet? Classic stuff. So, this is a decent looking jet. Look at that. Isn't that hot stuff? Obviously, no room. That's the kibble. You can always store them there, but I always keep him as a robot. But yeah, that is pretty hot, isn't it? And it rolls too. Now, he was released twice more in the G1 toy line once as a Pretender, and then as an Action Master, both of which I have. No surprise there. But you got to say, you got to go with what you saw. You got to love what you saw first, and this is it. This is it, baby. How can you not love that? And the stickers are more or less presented where they should be. I mean, you can just see that coming down, raining terror on RC and Springer before transforming and getting his foot stuck in the movie. So the reason why he was killed in the movie, not because his toy had been discontinued, it's more or less because Chris Latta kept getting arrested. Not for anything bad, I think it's like jaywalking, you know, in traffic or whatnot. So they thought, well, can't keep doing that, so we got to remove the character. He did come back twice in season 3, both times as a ghost. I thought it would have been awesome for him to just float by in season 4 when Scorponok and Galvatron managed to get the ship stabilized just at the end. It would have been nice to have him just floating by, you know, grey, because obviously he might have died off. Actually, saying that, he did die off screen. I think there's this whole Beast Wars connection. So he died off screen, travelled back to Beast Wars timeline. I should explain that, really. There's no Beast Wars things on my channel because I'm not really a big fan of Beast Wars. Even the Bayverse, as they call it. I don't like Michael Bay's movies. Sorry. I mean, I got a few of his figures, but they don't really do it for me. G1 all the way. So I've babbled on quite enough about everything else but what I have here. Now, everything does come off, but obviously I want to try and be smooth about it, which ain't going to happen. I mean, these parts are pretty loose, which is bloody annoying. Those original toy commercials really brought it home. It's like, wow, man. Forget all your game stations and whatever's. This is it for you. This is it for me. And obviously make sure I got the right fist on the right hand. There you go. I love this guy to death. Wouldn't trust him though. Wouldn't trust him with my wallet. Obviously the wings are just a tad bit loose, but that's okay because they don't often come out. And obviously because it's 40 years old, it does tend to get a bit loose around the joints. Same as me. As a side note, I am 34 in 10 days. May 15, 1991. Obviously, you're thinking I've probably got no business doing a channel based on 80s toys because I wasn't there. But I got an ear and an eye for the classics. Would have been great to have been around in the 80s, but there we go. And just a piece of resistance, as they say. Still his wheels in there, and we are off and running. He is set once again to cause Megatron constant headaches, as he always does. But yeah, I love this guy. It's a shame about the articulation, but obviously you got to start somewhere. And just off to here, I do have the Generations Classics Starscream and Studio Series 86 Starscream with the coronation for his little crown. But there we have it. That is Transformers Generation 1 Starscream, an F-15 Eagle fighter, whatever it's called. Available from 84 to 86, and not necessarily discontinued, but only because, like I said earlier, Chris Latta didn't make it easy for the voice record if they couldn't find him. check. Oh, just by the way, if you want to know what Chris Latta looks like, watch the Seinfeld episode "The Subway" because he's this big dude with long black hair with a big leather jacket. He kind of looks like a black-haired, slightly bigger Kelsey Grammer. If you want to know what he looks like. Passed away in 1994. They didn't know really how he died. I think it might have been an aneurysm or whatever, but there might have been more to that. But yeah, great guy by all accounts. I've digressed again. So, like I said, let's throw in some points. Released again in 88, I believe, 88, 89 as a Pretender, and then an Action Master a couple of years later, both of which I have. But this is the best version you can have because that is just reeking nostalgia, and the jet is pretty damn cool. So there you go. Thank you for watching.